Learning Literacy with Tips from Camille. Our topics, closed syllables, and non-twin syllable division in multi-syllabic words. The first syllable type that I teach is closed syllable. It's the easiest one. We start by showing this picture, which has a police officer in front of a door, and the door is closed. On that police officer is a consonant. This police officer represents a guard, police guard, who is guarding the closed door. He's closing that syllable up. That's what I call consonants. I call them consonants guards. They're after vowels, and they're closing the syllable up, making the vowel short. When it's short, we will mark it with a mark like this that is called a breve. You'll see this in dictionaries. A breve is a written or printed mark placed over the vowel, indicating a short or unstressed vowel. I say this: it's closed, can't leave. It's short, mark a breve. Another thing that I like to think about breves, if we put our hand as straight as we can, it actually arches. That looks like a breve. The guard is kind of squishing down on that vowel, saying, you can't get out. And the vowels are sad. To me, the short sounds of vowels sound sad. Ah, ah. Those are all short sounds, and they're all pretty miserable to me. When we're teaching short vowel sounds, as I mentioned in our vowel video, I usually say a long vowel sound, apple, keyword, short vowel sound. But that's a mouthful, and for some kids, it's just too much. In fact, some cannot have you say a and in the same phrase because it just is confusing. So many times when I'm teaching short vowels, I won't say the letter name at all. I'll start with the key word and go right into the short vowel sound. Apple, short vowel sound. If you remember in my vowel video, I did hands that showed how much the mouth opens, because with every vowel sound, the mouth opens a different amount. This is apple. Apple, short vowel sound. Then we have egg. Egg, short vowel sound. In my state, many people say egg. Well, that is a long A sound. So if that's the case with where you live, then you can draw ed on the egg and have him be ed, short vowel sound. He's an ed egg. Next, we have insect. Form the letter, turn it in a horizontal position, short vowel sound. Next, octopus, form the letter, short vowel sound. Next up, the direction, short vowel sound. It's a good idea to have kids read nonsense words. The reason nonsense words are helpful is many kids recognize words, but that doesn't mean that they know they're in closed syllables and what the short vowel says. They just recognize the word. When it's a nonsense word, you absolutely know they understand closed syllable, and they also understand what the short vowel sounds are. So what do you do when you're doing these short vowel sounds in closed syllables? You first look for the vowel. You have them look for the vowel, and they can either color it, and then you have them notice the consonant guard after and color it separately, or mark underneath a V for vowel and a C for consonant. A vowel in a closed syllable, short, mark it with a breve, and you would put the breve above. You can do any of those options. Then have them say, what is the short vowel sound? Oh, first of all, is it short or is it long? Because a vowel in a closed syllable is what? Short. They need to know that. Once they know it's short and they say is short, they have to think of a keyword if they have trouble. Octopus. So what is the sound? Ah. And then they can sound it out. Ah. Now that's isolating the sounds. Some kids have a hard time blending. They need to blend it. You can either use the word blend or keep your motor going. Mott. Now say it fast. Mott. If that's too much, and for some kids it is, you can cover up the first letter and just have them read from the vowel at the end. Remembering the short vowel sound, ah, is it short or is it long? Ah. And then once they have that down, uncover the first sound, ought. Now they might say ought, but you have to remind them, blend it, put it together, or keep your motor going, mott. Say it fast, mott. So now we have multi-syllabic words. Well, what are we doing? Well, we always look for the vowels first. Find the vowels, or write the letter underneath, V for vowel. Are there consonants in the middle, between the vowels? If the answer is yes, we'll color those consonants too and mark underneath that they're consonants if that's the way you want to do it. So another thing that I say here is I'll say vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, chop between the consonants, and that is what that line is. That divides the syllables. Every syllable has to have a vowel and one vowel sound. One vowel sound and at least a written vowel, and they do. Consonants between vowels let you know, hey, those are syllables and I've got to do a line. One thing that I also do, and I'll show you this in a minute, is I talk about the vowels sandwiching the consonants. So the vowels are the slices of bread and the consonants are the peanut butter and jelly. We'll go over that in a minute. But before we do, let's do this. If the kids need to, they'll need to cover up the second syllable so they can just focus on the first. Then, what is the vowel? What does it have it after it? It has a consonant guard. What type of syllable is that? It's closed. Is it short or is it long? Short. What is its short vowel sound? Eh. Read the word. Now, if they have trouble with B's and D's, I'll do a video on that later, not today. So they should start out with D, then short vowel sound eh, say it fast, den, or keep your motor going. What's the vowel? Does it have a guard after it? It does. Is it short or is it long? Short. What is the short vowel sound? Eh. Put it together, start at the top, sound it out. Is. Keep your motor going, or blend it, or put it together, tist. If that's too much, they can't remember all those sounds, then they need to cover it up. They can cover up the T before. They cannot cover up the T at the end and just start with the vowel and one consonant guard, is. Once they've done that, uncover the last guard, ist. Then uncover the first ist, put it together, tist. Keep remembering that. First one is den, second is tist, put it together, dentist. Now let's go over that sandwich bit. I sometimes say that the vowels are slices of bread and the consonants between are peanut butter jelly. And when we chop between the consonants, we're using a knife to cut the sandwich. But problem is we're not cutting it the right way. Normally you cut with the breads on top and bottom, cut between, obviously. This time we're cutting between the peanut butter and jelly. But I have a little movie video to show you with the bread as the vowels and the consonants as the peanut butter and jelly. So enjoy. Here are some nonsense words. All of these nonsense words do follow spelling patterns. They are things that we would see. When a child doesn't know a word, it's nonsense to them. Find the vowels. First step, they can mark it with a V. I'm not going to now for time purposes. Find the vowels or the bread. They sandwich the consonants, peanut butter and jelly, right in between. Vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, chop. Between the consonants, go ahead and make the chop. Cover up the second syllable. Read this syllable, g, e, d. Keep your motor going, or put it together, ged. Next syllable, what kind of syllable? It's closed. What's a short vowel sound? I. Put it together, b, I, n. Keep your motor going, bin. First part, ged. Second part, bin. Put it together, ged bin. Once they can read all these and they do it syllable division with ease, they've got it. And they can read those tough words. That's how they do it. Little syllable chunk by little syllable chunk, figuring out the vowel first. See you in the next video.